Welcome back to the John and Linetia Show.
So, a couple of shows ago, we kind of talked about the Redskins' name, right?
Yes, those red skins.
Yeah.
Skins that are red.
And
what does that mean?
And what happened to come out in the news?
What are they making? Well, yeah, there was because the Redskins were eliminated last week out of the NFL playoffs, and
RG3 went down.
RG3, yeah. For whatever reason, somebody had asked the mayor of Washington D.C. about, because the Redskins play in a stadium in Landover, Maryland, which is like 20 miles away from Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. They used to play years ago in RFK Stadium, which was in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. Okay, and someone had asked the mayor of Washington, D.C., Vincent Gray, that if the team, what if the team ever wanted to relocate inside of the city limits, Now, I don't think there's any it's not imminently going to happen because the Redskins are in, they're in a fairly newish stadium. I haven't heard anything like they need a newer stadium. Mm-hmm. But it's not an old stadium. And the mayor basically said that if they start to get serious about having the team come back to Washington, that there's no doubt that there would have to be a discussion about a possible name change for the team.
And where did this come from? Just people?
Well, you know
not
what?
Happy?
It's been going around because the fact of the matter is that for years there's been a lot of I guess fighting or essentially. You can call it political correctness, but it's actually just kind of political right-sizing in a way, with sports teams that use disrespectful Native American imagery or names. Yeah. And the fact is that the name Redskins, it's a slur,
Just like when they were talking about the Illini.
Well, with the Illini, a lot of that really was Chief Illiniwek, who they kind of felt, you've got this Indian caricature who was running out on the field,
right,
and wasn't doing any kind of like a tribal dance or anything like that. It was just kind of like clowning around,
right.
And that's really it. There's all kinds of different things, like the Chicago Blackhawks. Mm-hmm. They've always had a respectful looking image for their logo, and the Blackhawk Indians are from this region, and the team years ago, even before the uproar over Indian Native American names, the team had basically gotten permission and gotten the blessing of the Blackhawk tribe to so that's not imagery or anything that people find disrespectful. Okay. Meantime, you've got things like the Atlanta Braves, who used to have an Indian mascot called Chief Nakahoma. And he was another one that he had a teepee out in the left field stands, and it was just kind of it's basically treating a people as a joke. Okay. Now the fact that they're called the Braves might be okay, but it's the imagery in that sense. Mm-hmm. Meantime, you've got the Washington Redskins. Mm-hmm. It's essentially you may as well be using the N-word. Okay. And
okay.
Well, for an Indian, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's ultimately what it's a slur. It is a slur. Okay. And so we've kind of this is going on, and I would firmly believe that that name has to be changed. I would say Braves and Indians, those the names don't necessarily need to be changed to be respectful. Blackhawks, no. Redskins? Oh my God! Come on.
And they've been the Redskins for years.
But that's no excuse.
I don't know.
That's no excuse because how many things lasted for years. You can't say, well, it's been tradition. Well, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because then people be like, oh, what about the Fighting Irish? Oh, does that make fun of Irish people?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If it was the falling down drunk Irish, that
Okay, now I'm offended.
Or if it was, actually, let's even, I'm trying to think Irish, I don't know, like, the potato heads, or, ultimately it's like, if there was a team that was named after Italians and it was the Wops or something like that, or a team named after, Hispanic people and it was the Spics or something. That's Redskins, okay? So Fighting Irish, oh, come on. That is that's not a slur at all. In fact, what you're basically saying is, it's Irish people and that they are, battling. Okay, whoop-de-doo. So.
Wow, I wonder what they could even change their name to. I guess they'll, maybe they'll have people write in or.
Well, I'm sure that they could. The thing is that the current ownership and the previous ownership have no intention of doing it. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know what, it's going to happen at some point in time because it can't last. It's an embarrassment. Okay.
Wow.
Now the interesting thing is that the fans for the Washington team that are in like the end zones, they have a nickname, and that nickname it's based on the defensive line in the 80s and 90s. The nickname is the Hogs. Okay, and they'll like wear like little pig noses and stuff like that. So one of the suggestions that I thought was perfect was, why don't you change the name of the team to the Pigskins? Okay, because the football is known as a pigskin.
That's a pigskin.
And because you've already got the Hogs on the team, and it wouldn't exactly be a big stretch because if you've got fans that call themselves the Hogs, and you're the Pigskins, it's perfect.
I think they need something else. Something else a little bit more jazzy.
Fighting Polacks?
You think that's a great name to have?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to check to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, everything that sounds like anything that's offensive to any group has been around for years, and they have had talks, and things have changed, but I don't know if this is going to be an immediate change.
No, it won't happen. I mean, it was just brought up, and the thing is that it's an ongoing issue, and I think it's always good when things are brought up and
at least talked about.
Exactly, there should be a dialogue, and I think the fact of the matter is it is an offensive name, and at some point in time it probably should be.
As long as they don't name them something crazy like that basketball team. That's a terrible name that they have.
Well, I mean, the basketball team changed because it was, the Bullets. They thought, that's a violent image, so let's change the name. I personally don't think that the Wizards is such a great name. You're right.
Yeah. And what about the...
Not to mention, as the Washington Wizards, what if they were the Washington Wizards and they came out in white hoods, I mean, it was like, come on.
You know what, John? I just didn't think about that. But thanks for putting that image in my head.
Yes, exactly.
I didn't think about that. Thanks. Yeah. No, I mean that other team, too. The one where they moved from one city to New Orleans and they're trying to find a new name now. They're going to call them, the Pelicans or something.
Oh, you mean the New Orleans Hornets. They went from Charlotte to New Orleans.
Oh, terrible.
Well,
please.
You know what? When the Miami Heat was first announced, people were like, what? That's a goofy nickname. When the Orlando Magic were first announced, it was like, that's a goofy nickname. People got used to it.
I don't know if people are going to get used to the Pelicans. That doesn't sound good.
This is a league that has a team called the Lakers in Los Angeles where there are no lakes.
Right. And they're not doing too well this season.
No, Kobe is very old. And
he's the only one
Yeah.
on the team. Something else I wanted to ask you actually about RG3, now that we brought up, this team. Do you think that he should have played?
Probably not, but, players with that kind of injury that he had have played. He got cleared to play by the doctors, so, what happened happened. And, but, probably he should have been, held out.
I was thinking that maybe you should have just let somebody else play in the beginning and then maybe brought him out like fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, you know what, I'm thinking, my thinking is that they came down, they scored 2 touchdowns real quick. At that point, they should have said, okay, you know what, we got the lead, let's take him out for now, and let's put in the backup, And then if we need him later, maybe we'll put him back in, and then
Right.
maybe you should have done that.
Right.
But
maybe he said, "I don't want to leave. I want to stay
well,
out
he
here."
can say all he wants,
You
but the
know.
coach is the one who decides.
He did.
So,
He did.
all right.
He did. Well, thanks for listening to the John and Linetia Show.